This is Justin AMZN on Friday, June 28th, 2019. Take a look at the pre-market. We were running right back up to resistance from yesterday. It's just an interesting place for us to gap up to. We'll see if we actually open up slightly above it. Yesterday was a bullish candle, very small bullish candle, but bullish nonetheless. So it would be a bullish retest gap. Or we can see if we run right into resistance here and we actually roll back down slightly, or bigger pullback, or like a 1 2 3 sort of pull, something like that. See what we can do. If it is going to go bearish. If it's going bullish, I do want it to still pull back. So I guess at the open, I'm looking for wherever it opens here to give me some sort of retest. Pull back down or break down from this resistance. So let's just open up the day and see what happens. Very first candle, very strange inverted hammer. It's more of like Dragonfly Doji. I gotta look these up at some point to figure out what's that one called in general, but something like Dragonfly or Shooting Star. No, I think this one's Shooting Star because it's up. Dragonfly, I think, is when it's down. More like, I think this one's Dragonfly. I think this is Shooting Star, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, kind of a nice candle to have at the open. The only challenge with this is there's a lot of sellers and it looks like it's just going to continue bearish. All they have to do is sell it, another $1 or $2 down, and it's going to trigger a bunch of bears in. So the issue is actually getting into a trade where your risk is defined by this range being a dollar on the options, and that it's going to move slow enough that you can get the trade set up before it gets there. So we look at kind of how the options move, but that could have been a challenge. But there's some other stuff that comes up today that's easier to do if you're not as quick as at the open, and a lot of times I'm not, and that's okay. You just look for other opportunities later in the day, or not that much later in the day. So there you go. Next candle. Okay, there you go. It triggers in. Did a slight retest here, moved up a little bit, then came crashing back down. Now we very quickly did this pullback from like here to here. Price-wise, we're already down. And it's like, okay, we're going to find support in here. That was a nice kind of hammer after hours. We did have this kind of like a Morningstar reversal sort of thing down here. Maybe we'll come down to this level. I am going to keep my eye out around like 1898 because that was the low yesterday. We have already taken out the high from yesterday and didn't get a close up there. So this is still an intact resistance, or at least up here. And let's just see kind of what happens with this candle. So let's say maybe you're in, maybe you're not. Where would you want to hold this to? I would if I was trading here, my stop's up here, I'm barely at an R. So I would want it to move down a little bit more. Down here would probably be closer to 2R if it could get down that far. So let's see what happens. I got a hammer. Break down the hammer. Okay, I'm almost there. I'm below this low, but I'm still a little bit above this one, but I'm into the body of that one. So I would consider taking profits there because it's moved so quickly directional. Okay, there you go. It got there. Actually put a low of 1898, and yesterday's low was 1898.04. So slightly lower low on the day. Now, if you had set an alert on this low to let you know when the price is coming down there, I mean, you could have been buying off this just like some folks were buying off it yesterday, and had a target there or had a target slightly above it, so you have time to kind of react to what's going on there. But it by no means has to stop here and reverse. This is just a low. It's not giving us a very strong reversal candle like this Dragonfly Doji. I'm just going to call it that, and if it's not, then I guess I'll figure it out later. But all right, so next candle, inside candle. That's actually kind of nice to have an inside candle there because it could go either direction. It could continue to break down. It could bounce. We're at a bouncing location. If it rolls back down, some bulls are trapped, so it could do that too. Almost inside, got a slightly lower low and lower high from the bullish candle there. Pretty much this is just kind of like a stair step or a consolidation. Okay, there we go. Starting to move a little bit. We're moving up after moving down slightly, so it's still a consolidation, but it lasted for about 15 minutes of a stair step instead of really consolidating like a pennant or a flag or something. So we're still, let's say we're still in bearish. This is just a retest back to kind of the low at the close yesterday. So we're kind of retesting up to that. Much smaller candle, lighter volume. Okay, now we're making higher highs. All right, now it starts to reverse. It's like, uh-oh, should we have gone above that candle? Now we're still below these candles. I actually like this rollover because you got right back into this bullish candle. Let's see, the low here is 1903.19. The high here is 1903.56. So you could have been getting in anywhere on that candle as a retest. So, or up here, you'd have it set up. Okay, I'm gonna, oh no, it wasn't there, it was here. Sorry. All right, if you take out that low, it'll continue bearish. So that means having your stop or having your entry down here below the low. Well, if you weren't filled on that push lower, you would have gotten the S curve here. Now it's a matter of, okay, is it going to roll over? How far is it going to go? Could we get back down to 1893? What happens? Inside candle, 15 minutes of no up, no down, just completely sideways, and really small candles. And it's like, you know what? That anything could happen here. I would want a tighter risk, or I'm sorry, a looser risk reward than trying to bracket just this. Oops. There we go. So let's see kind of how this plays out. But let's now put our stop here. So we'll lock in a little bit of game, and let's look to have this thing continue lower. That's kind of why we're in this bearish, right? All right, so the high. All right, now it's moving up, and you should have been stopped out on this if you had moved your stop pretty tight here. So you're probably up a quarter an hour or something, maybe half an hour. It just depends on where you got filled, and it's possible we've gotten maybe 3/4 an hour if down here was 1 hour and down here is 2 hours. So, but now we're doing some sideways activity where we're just consolidating here, and we're going to keep stops pretty loose. Okay, this one's getting close to having a higher high than this one. This could be a bigger double bottom, but it's kind of like lopsided here, a little wider here. And there we go. Now it starts to break out. That's a double bottom. Retesting the neckline. And okay, so this candle is a great start to a bullish candle, taking out all of these highs, but it got a lot of selling on it. Came way back down here, and that is not a very strong bullish candle. That looks more like a reversal candle, like up here, shooting star kind of candle. This one, shooting star kind of candle. So it's like, okay, let's be cautious here if we're looking to get in bearish again. Let some of this time, work its way out, and we'll see. Okay, maybe this could be inverted head and shoulders. We'll see kind of what plays out with that. The squeeze forms. It's starting to break out, go a little bit higher, and now you got two really small candles here. Stair step, we're breaking out, and it looks like, okay, this is just going to grind higher. We'll probably pull back into 1904 at some point, touch the 21, continue on up. We've done that other weeks, we've done another expiration Fridays, could do the same thing. And in this case, it starts to go back right away and then further and takes out the low of those two really small candles here. Get rid of some of that, make this a little bigger. There we go. Okay. So now we've gapped down. We've got a 5-minute gap, and it's actually gapped down. This isn't much of a reversal. I'll show you on the 3-minute. It is actually a very nice reversal. And it starts to just kind of break down here. So this is more like a secondary retest of the neckline, and nothing happens. Continues lower. Bearish candles, continue to take out the lows. I counted them up. I think there's an hour's worth, 12 bearish candles in a row here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so that's an hour's worth, and we're coming right down into our support. Now, remember I talked yesterday about setting an alert for the low of the day break. So your alert would have gone off here, and I was watching this here, and I saw this, and it's like, that is not the reversal candle that we had yesterday. This is not what I want to happen. And I should have said to myself, well, I think I did, this is going to continue bearish, or it's not ready to bounce yet, or something. And, true enough, it just continued on bearish. It's like, okay, is it going to bounce? What am I looking for a trade? And, right here, in the next 10 minutes, we just consolidate right here. 15 minutes, breakdown. Those 15 minutes, there were so many opportunities to get in bearish, even after this long run, which, is a little nerve-wracking. It's like, why is it down that much? Shouldn't have been bought up. Shouldn't it, have some sort of just retracement? That's how these things are supposed to work. Well, They don't always work that way. And so this is just playing the chart, playing the candles, and you got a little inside candle, and now some smaller candles, and now a breakdown. Let's see if we can retest that. Nope, doesn't really retest it. Makes some lower lows, lower highs, continues on down, and then here, I'll show you this on the 3-minute also. This looks like a nice reversal candle. Right now it doesn't, so it's just a matter of checking different time frames to see kind of what you think you're seeing. And that's a quick thing to check, and then go back to what you're used to, or as long as it's in your rules to kind of plan it out. Like this is how to get to having the setup and having the plan for it. So looks like. Sorry, excuse me. Looks like we're going to kind of do this double bottom thing here. I know we've got our price down here at 1880.05. Not sure if we'll get down there. Okay. This is the kind of reversal kind I was looking for. That's kind of we had yesterday. We had some really small, like that one maybe, something, and even these, but it just continued lower. This is a nice one here, and it's already starting to go up. And so this could be a double bottom. Totally okay for that to work out. See if we can get a rally back up into, 1893 or something. So what happens next is sideways, and it starts to break down. This made yet another lower low. So this was the low, then this was the low, then this was the low. It's like, okay, talked about that when it's just, doing kind of a quicker pullback, retracing, starting to bounce, showing signs of that. Well, right now it's not. It's just been this bearish move for like an hour and a half or more or something. And starts to continues a little bit lower, and then we're going completely sideways about 2:30, half an hour left in the day, completely sideways, and it starts to kind of bounce there. Nope. Sorry, I thought it started here. It doesn't. It actually just goes sideways into the close, and then has this like last 5-minute rally, and then after hours rolls back down. It's like I would have been looking for that earlier in here, and it just didn't happen. What was nice is this consolidation right here, and then a breakdown. And I should have been on that one bearish. We've broken the low of the day. I just wanted more of a bullish bounce or retracement with that many bearish candles in a row, but I didn't get it. So if we look at puts, this is what you could have done to buy at the open. You would have been setting up something like 4x3, and that went up to 6, so that would have been an R. Not really like that. That's why I like waiting for later in the day, looking for what else could work out. And so in this case, this was, all right, so on the 5-minute, let me switch over to the 3-minute and show you what I saw here on these candles, because when I saw it, I'm like, man, I should have been in that. I cannot believe I wasn't looking at those candles. So, I mean, all you technically need is candles. I mean, anything else in here, just these candles, and based on the candles, let's see right here, you've got this breakdown, kind of a stair step, slightly lower high, lower low, that continues lower, stair step here, rolls over, okay, we're holding. This is like a double bottom, over that. So then we get over here, and oops, it doesn't really do it justice looking like this. It was more like something like that. I was looking at it zoomed in on my phone, I think, and saw it, and it's like, oh, that looks like a great reversal pattern. 2 of them, bearish and right? No, slightly higher low and higher high. Okay, close. Nice inverted hammers, and oops, and breaks down immediately. Immediately, you're into this if you set that up. It's like, what could happen here? It could reverse. This is a reversal candles. It could reverse. Like I said, I saw it further like over here. I was getting my alert set up for this, and I just wasn't really thinking through, is this reversal? And I also like the location of it, so I'm going to go back to it. The location here is inside the range of this first high wave candle on the day, on the daily, or I'm sorry, on the 5-minute. Sorry, on the 3-minute. My bad. The 3-minute. Once we're into this, I would have had, or once we're below this and not retesting up to it here or here or here, I would probably set something that says, okay, here's this setup. Roll a day or low of the candle to high of the candle. Look for the rollover. Look to get into that bearish, and that would have worked phenomenally. So this just gap down again, continue to push lower and way lower, And we're way down here now. It's like you had opportunities to get in bearish here on this candle, or gap down on this candle, or a little retracement of this one on this candle, and then just hold on for the ride. And it's hard to do that when something's not moving directionally, but that's the options we're talking about, is the directional. So let's see, we ended up going all the way down through here and then starting to bounce into the close, but not by much. So the big edge today was bearish. If we had caught those two candles on the 3-minute, that would have been great. I'm going to switch back to the 5 and just show you it's a little bit harder there. So got some of the same patterns, but this one didn't look like a reversal at all. And so it just would have been hard to do the right setup. So in this case, I'm looking at the 1900 calls, and you could have been getting into those down in here somewhere as it would rally, thinking it would rally. And oops, those calls, it ended up rallying a little bit, a couple times. So you could have been buying the lows down here like 4 and around 6, or 450 and around to 650, something like that. And yeah, that's kind of all you could have done bullish. That's about it. Maybe the last 5 minutes, but not so much. Now this is the 1900 puts, and what's interesting about this is this is where I was saying you could have done 100, well, or $100 risk. But if we go just $10 further out of the money on the puts and look at what's going on here, what I really like is you have the opening 5-minute candle that has a range of 55 cents. And so you easily could have been getting the setup to go bullish here. You're pushing back up here into the prior day's closing price, and then just starts to roll over. And all through this rollover, again, we're looking at puts. This was just that choppy rally on in here. So there was some stuff going on that was chop around and looking like it was going to go bullish, and then reverses here. Right about 11:20, 11:30. All right, so back to the puts. That was that losing value. And then in this, you could have had something like absolute 0, or get it at 1 and stop at 0, or getting a little bit tighter, like 75 by 25 and 2 of those, and looking like it's going to roll, or looking like it's going to rally here. And then let's see. So if we go back to 700, there's something else I want to see here. Okay, so here you could have been getting in, like 150 by 50 or something. But let's say you got in at 2. Let's say you got in at 3. You stopped down at 2. It rallies. It goes all the way up to 13. You made 10R. Nice job. That would have been amazing. Okay. The other thing is, as I said, was let's see. It broke down this candle. I'm sorry. This candle broke down below the low of the day on this one. And then from here, I was thinking, man, that should bounce. I'm getting some small candles here, and then I get this one. Let's see, closing. Yeah, these are actually this one is actually like closing here. At this point, it's like, okay, that's not the kind of bouncing candle I was looking for. We've closed below the previous low. So what's going to happen? Well, then we look at some of the puts, and it was on this one right here. It was around this time where we made that push and then consolidated. It was right in here, or right before that. I'm like, this doesn't look like it's going to bounce. Sure enough, it didn't bounce, but I should have flipped what I was thinking. I thought about it. I just didn't dig in to figure out how it's going to work. And so at this point, I could have been getting in like 7 by 6, racking these, and that would have doubled up to 14, or maybe 6 or 13, something like that. So there's plenty of opportunities. Zooming in on a tighter time frame, and realistically, coming away today with an R or a couple R's would be fantastic, and work on that holding muscle to get through something like this, because these do happen. It's just they're hard to predict. Things have to really just line up well for how that's all going to play out. That was kind of this little kick right into the close, but all of this was just such a bearish move that there wasn't any buying that was reversing it. And even down here, I'm like, is anyone coming in to buy this thing? It looks like it's just going to continue on lower. And again, I didn't think about flipping and waiting for consolidation like this to go bearish. But yeah, that would have worked out a number of different times to do it. So on the daily, we gapped up, trade a little bit higher, came back down, bearish engulfing candle right here. A gap up to like 1918, 1970, that means, yeah, 1917 would be amazing. If we can get ahead of these highs, if we can gap up even into like 1940, trapping every bear in here. Probably have a little bit of retesting, doing that, even with a bearish candle here, a little bit, like maybe a couple minutes worth, make a small lower wick and bounce. And I mean, this could push to new highs or something, or revisit old ones, just because of the potential to get above these candles. Now, if these two play out and it reverses, we may just chop around on this at least till the third, and then see if we can get something going with this direction. Otherwise, it could continue going, just grinding lower. What's the date on? To the 10th, and see, okay, we're just going to chop in here, and then what happens? But there's a bunch of X's nearby. I prefer bouncing and just rallying from here, getting out of this range, but it's fine if it stays in this range. And we'll continue to look for some smaller moves that we can just be set up, probably to take advantage of those too. So I think that was most what I wanted to go over for this one, and just trying to get better at catching these candle patterns and playing the candles themselves. So I hope this was helpful. This is just AMZN. Thanks.